have a couple of things on my media board.
Oh my god, time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner.
Sucking dick and cock.
It's like, no big deal. Like, sucking dick and cock.
Also, and this is for greeting everybody.
Wow. Hey, people. It's been a minute.
This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low IQ, high-energy, jackrabbit, fucking wannabe, big-time, small-time, shit-talking, bothersome, irritating bunch of motherfuckers I have ever had to endure for more than 5 minutes.
Dude, love that. That's like one of my favorite videos of all time.
It's so good. Yesterday, listen, every single day, there's someone living in my neighborhood who has a clown horn. I guess, no, it's more like this.
That's hilarious.
They use it every day. They use it every day, dude.
What?
I genuinely, every single day, around 9 to 10 p.m., I hear this.
Damn, that's low-key kinda lit.
Like, who the hell is that? Going through it again.
Welcome back.
Make it stop.
It makes me want to do this. Make it stop.
So, yes, I know that this is a very typical topic. I know that we're late by like a month, but I just feel like we still have to say a couple of things about it because, first and foremost, was the discourse really tiring? Because there's like
Yeah.
a new fucking tweet every 2 seconds with someone calling somebody idiots.
Yeah, we might
Yeah.
be late by a month, but this concept was late by a couple centuries.
Listen, the concept of it, the execution was even worse.
Yeah.
The concept to begin with is already like, this isn't the 70s, bitch. What's in the make it stop? What in the sexual revolution do you think you're doing? And it's like, listen, during sexual revolution movement, there were a lot of better art. And also the reason why, for example, a lot of artworks that we brought up or a lot of people bring up that are queer, that we go, yeah, this is a good artwork, even though it's literally about the act of sex, is because, like, for example, in the 80s, right, during the AIDS crisis, just having sex as a queer person was already a political statement. It was viewed as such. It was viewed as an agenda. It's still viewed that way. That's why people, when they speak about characters falling for like same-sex character or something like that in cartoons, there's a bunch of adults who are like, this is propaganda, or keep all of this like sexual or romantic stuff out of cartoons, while at the same time there's always straights going at it. It's all like it makes sense when, especially in the 80s and 90s, when queer people were making artworks like this, it was actually saying something because they were so heavily politicized. Like their own personal bedrooms were politicized in that sense, especially in terms of like the AIDS crisis being like, well, you did it because you were doing this thing that you weren't supposed to do, you know? So
As if it's a disease specifically only for queer people. No, like,
I know, dude, like,
it's so funny because there's actually people who think that. Like, you have
I know
to
it's
be-
really, really dumb.
Like, are you
I
guys-
don't.
Yeah.
It's so strange. So, I feel like with this album cover, it's really, really weird. Like the reaction to it, you know, it always pisses me off how many people do not understand culture or visual culture to a point where whenever you talk about it, it's like, how do I even say that? It's so weird because you kind of end up in a situation where you're like, I don't know where to start to explain this to you because I feel like you're missing so much context. And it's really weird to me because to me it seems so elementary that I don't even know if it's
just-
me just being blinded by my particular direction in
Right.
education,
Yeah.
or if it should be
Well,
common sense to you.
I feel like it should be, to a certain degree, common sense because, like, I think you learn about irony at a pretty young age. You know what I mean? And you're like fucking English class or something. So I don't really think it's super conducive to like us going to art school. I think having really better examples are, but I think like conceptually it's more, I don't think it's that like, I don't think it's that something that somebody couldn't, it's common sense is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
And also we forgot to mention what album we're talking about. We totally
Oh yeah, Man's Best Friend, by Sabrina Carpenter. I kind of assume that people know because it's gonna be in the title.
oh
But
period poo.
there's like also this misunderstanding of the term irony, which really pissed me off too with people because uh like there is a lot of
Well,
crossover
that's
between yeah.
that's just kind of like the term people are throwing around defending the album
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah,
But,
and that's why I was like,
I don't
yeah, clearly you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about because come on now. Because the thing is like there is satire and then there's irony.
irony. Yeah.
And ironic things they require like juxtaposition
Mm-hmm.
of specific things that are very exaggerated, right? There's also this exaggeration to a humorous effect with satire too, but satire is more about not the juxtaposition of two things, not being like, oh, she was trying to I don't know,
She was
explain
trying to
this.
like make a caricature or like portray like I don't know.
Like for example, when the person is trying to look really cool, like they like thought that they would look really cool putting on this jacket or whatever, but the effect that they got was the complete opposite. This is not a very good analogy, but basically with satire, you don't need this polarity.
Yeah.
It's more about the overall mocking. Like it's a mocking type of tone, I guess, of something. How do they are kind of, there's like people who explain it, people who gave it a definition before us. The use of humor, this is satire, right? The use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. So I think that this is the word that they were trying to use.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people will say that, oh, irony is very similar. I understand what you're saying because it's an exaggeration. It's usually to a comedic effect, yada yada. I think that there is something that specifically subverts the expectation in terms of what was the intention and what it ended up being. So I feel like it kind of became ironic maybe by accident,
Yeah.
but it was supposed to be satirical.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's not it it didn't land the way I think Sabrina Carpenter thought it would. It's only ironic because of like the discourse around it.
Yeah,
That was not,
basically.
that was not part of the concept or intention.
In any case, if there are any linguists listening to us, you can explain to people.
It's websites
I do
and
understand
stuff.
that irony is used like that sometimes. I just don't think it works here
Yeah.
personally.
But
I think that
is on.
the nuances are off, right? The nuances of it all are kind of not working out. In any case, if you haven't seen this album cover, I will like, oh, actually we should share it so people can actually see it.
The original one, not the one approved by God, as Sabrina Carpenter.
Is it the one that's with a cat, like the one that's approved by God?
I think
Or
it's
is it the black and white where she's again with a man?
the black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody on Reddit was like, "This album cover looks like an America's Next Top Model season 4 photo of pretend paparazzi." I gotta find that Reddit.
That's too good, bitch. Like, damn, people are really funny sometimes.
Visually, execution wise, I get that it's supposed to be in reference to this other photo or painting or whatever, but
Which one?
that Sabrina Carpenter cover, the original one, I hate.
I know. I just don't know what painting.
It's like a pop cultural Pinterest thing. I just hate the quality. I'm sorry, the treatment is awful.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, okay, so let's talk about this in terms of conventions of visual arts and how to read an image, right? There are certain things that you learn, kind of like there's, a very well-known way of going about reading a picture professionally. And one of those ways is looking at it in terms of what time it was made. This one is, current.
Yeah.
And then you kind of look at whether it is an image or a painting or whatever the fuck this is, a photograph. Then you kind of get into the composition, right? And first and foremost, oh god, like I don't even. Okay, so first and foremost, I think that there's a lot of people, I do want to acknowledge this, that there's a lot of people who dislike this cover because they are quite puritanical.
Yeah.
There are people who are just like anti sex in general in art. There's always going to be people who walk in and they're like, I just don't like when artists use sex for anything in artworks. And I'm like, well, I don't think that that's fair. I understand being bored of it because I am, because genuinely it's one of the most overused tropes.
Yeah.
Like all of this, especially the S&M inclination, especially the whole like Japanese tying up shit, especially the dildos and other like sex toys, like it's so overused to the point where you walk in and you're like, ugh, like
Yeah, like
and it's not like I don't think it's inappropriate per se. I think that some artworks benefit from it because there is no conversation about that particular topic without touching on it, But I do think that a lot of people are kind of over exaggerating the importance of it for every single artwork. Like there's sometimes people who you really didn't fucking need this, and somehow this is where we are.
I feel like a lot of people use it, which is like kind of weird because I don't think it provides any shock value, but I definitely think people use it aesthetically to be like just come off as edgy or nuanced, etc., when really it's just quite dead. Like or like
Yeah.
completely not the opposite of nuance. It's very just like
The opposite of what?
nuanced. It's just very like
Not me listening to the mic.
it's just bland.
Yeah. It's really, really strange that this photo, that she didn't try to be subversive at all. Like, she didn't try at all. Because the thing is, to those people who want to, like if you're really identifying hard with Sabrina, I don't think you're going to be able to hear us out. Because the thing is, I don't really hate her. I don't really think that she's like, I actually like some of her music. I like some of her visuals.
Yeah, terrible artist. Like, dude, I have her vinyl right here for short and sweet.
Yeah.
Like,
Respectfully, we're not haters. But also respectfully, we are artists, and I will have something to say about every single artwork, even those that I think are perfect.
Yeah.
Let alone something that I think is kind of really poorly executed. And this is poorly executed straight up.
Yeah, and also as women, like, of course we're gonna have something to say about art that deals with like femininity, sexuality, that kind of stuff, especially when it's done badly. Because like, don't like, come on, guys, we're trying to push forward. We're not trying to go back. Like,
that's the thing. This is the reason why we kind of have to bring up the whole choice feminism shit. Because the thing is, first and foremost, if you are one of those people who like hear someone criticizing choice feminism and you're like, you're criticizing feminism, okay, calm down. Everyone here is a feminist. But we do have criticisms for choice feminism because personally I don't think it's feminism. I think it is a personal ideology, not a movement.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with the movement, and it honestly has no use. It actually puts us back quite a bit.
Totally.
So the problem here is like with everyone I'm seeing, it's always like, well, maybe she's into this, right? Because this is clearly like a take on some kind of like BDSM situation. Not entirely, because this is very tame, right? You can't really tell whether this is actually BDSM or if it's just like two people who think they're super fucking kinky because they pulled someone's hair or whatever, You don't know what kind of context this is in because it doesn't quite translate very well.
Yeah.
Now, but personally, I think that the fact that this guy is standing off camera, you know, sometimes people are saying like, oh, it's disembodiment or dismembering of a person, especially people say that when they talk about images of women when their face is not in it or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just bodies.
If you're trying to be like, well, she kind of removed the identity of the guy, so this is kind of subversive in that way, where he's kind of denied his personhood. He's not, because the difference between people criticizing someone being cut off in terms of like their face or something, and that photo just being framed like this, versus a photo actually just like visually dismembering a person or taking away their agency or their personhood. Usually that happens when there is also sexualization involved, or the point of what that person is doing in that particular shot, right, is something that is passive
Yeah.
or submissive.
Yeah.
So
This
no
guy's
one's gonna say, yeah.
sorry, this guy's like equivalent to a black blob in the photo. Like can't really say much about him.
Yeah, but he is still a person because no one made him stand with his dick out,
Yeah.
which people would do with a woman. But they would make her stand in that photo even if she's holding someone by the hair, literally with her boobs out.
Yeah. Totally.
Maybe her head will be cut off.
I mean,
The shot is probably gonna be just her boobs.
there's so many albums like that. I
Yeah.
can name so many right now.
Yeah, it's literally like that's what people mean when they talk about dehumanization of the female form in photos. And I don't think that this photo has anything to do, like, you can't really argue that the guy is being, you know, like, this is subversive because the guy is denied his person. No, he's not. He's clothed and he's holding her by her hair.
Yeah, guys,
Please,
his
please.
is still intact.
Like, seriously. And the fact of the matter is, you know, I think that this photo would work amazingly and would have been about sex and about all of this shit, while at the same time not being so typical and so like propping up the patriarchal bullshit and the sexual exploitation of women. If he was naked, for example,
Yeah.
she could have been even in the same fucking position, but if he's naked, that's already such a subversion, and it would have made so many headlines too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to have this conversation of whether she's feminist or not. It would just be a cover about sex. But this isn't. I know that this seems like very thin line, or that it's very close and like, why are we nitpicking? But it's not close. The visual language is very clear here. You can't just like, a lot of the things, I get that sometimes people don't understand these things, because even in university, when we were like in second and third year, we had a lot of works in class that were kind of missing the point sometimes of their own work. Especially like, for example, we had one person who wanted to talk about the melting ice caps, and then they ordered a bunch of straws to make those glaciers out of straws. And it's like, yeah, you're making a point because it's straws that are making this. First of all, it's not the straws that are at fault, but let's say that it's straws, and because that's what we believed at that point, like, or you believed at that point, you know. And even if that's the case, still, you just ordered a bunch of them instead of using recycled ones or something like that.
like
You just
we're
ordered a bunch of new ones.
to the alleged problem.
Yeah, you're contributing at a big rate.
Yeah, that turtle that had a straw up its nose really got to that person.
Seriously. And like, and that's why a lot of people were kind of like criticizing. But the thing is, she was one of the girls who was like normal in class to compare to some other people. So I did try to defend her anyway.
Yeah.
Even though I was like, yeah, no, that's not good. But I was like, how can we spin this quickly?
Like, she has a good heart. She has
a good heart, you guys.
good at
Who cares?
this kind of
She
stuff.
didn't get the concept. Anyway, so that's the thing, that like with all of these works, like technically speaking, her concept is about the glaciers, right, melting, and the concept is about the straws, which we connected or we thought that were like really important for the environment.
Mhm.
But this misstep of where she sourced her material was so huge that the entire work fell apart. And it's the same fucking thing here. You can miss one thing. For example, him not being naked or her not holding something dangerous in her hand to subvert the expectation. Like having her hold something dangerous in her hand, like a knife, would have also subverted the expectation and it also would have made it some kind of weird power play
Yeah.
where you have to guess what the hell is going on, what kind of dynamic do they have that this is something they're into.
Okay, sorry fam. I have to be on the side because my allergies are crazy and I keep having to blow my nose. So Bysiston had to take a mask. And I don't y'all don't deserve to see my true face.
Oh my god,
What?
you guys are gonna have to jump her for that. Oh, they don't deserve it.
Girl, if you guys saw my true face, y'all would turn to stone. Okay? Anyways, another thing I want to mention why this doesn't really work either, or at least my biggest contention with it, because girl, I love Rihanna's S&M like the rest, you know? Like I'm not saying that I'm not saying ladies can't be kinky or whatever. Like do you, baby? You just have to look back at majority of her other work slash music and it's too centralized around men, period, that this doesn't land for me. Like, okay, she made Man Child and like that's kind of it because I think that guy cheated on her or whatever. And like maybe that's her one song where it's like, oh, she hates men, blah blah blah. Now she's like this feminist queen or whatever. But like if you even look back at Short and Sweet, like there's so much lyrics and concepts that are very like it sucks for the next girl because I had him first. You know what I mean? Very like
Oh yeah, those lyrics actually, I think that we mentioned them at some point
because like
when we were talking about the MTV performance, I think.
yeah, because like other than like this, maybe this would have landed if the rest of her oeuvre was like on par with the satirical narrative that we're talking about. Like, oh, there's a power play here. There's like she's just being satirical in this image, you know? But it just doesn't line up with the her previous work. It doesn't really
Mm.
line up from like at least what we've seen. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, call me that, but
that's my sister now.
this is my assistant.
Yeah, because for example, the lyrics in one of her most, not one of her most famous song, Espresso, is like, too bad your ex didn't do it for you. Like there's always a lot of lyrics that are kind of like, and I'm everything that she isn't,
Yeah.
and I have you now, or I got you for, and it's like, holy fuck, okay. Even though there is a lot of subversion of her in her other songs, or subversions in quotations, like for example,
It's
in Espresso music video, she steals shit from men. And it's like, yeah, but you're also singing about someone not doing it for him anymore and you doing it for him.
yeah, it's not inherently like she's like fully against the dude. It's more just like, let me show you how it's done, baby.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, why are
It's
you?
like you've never met someone like me.
Yeah, it's like
Make it stop.
make it stop. It's very much like Wattpad. I'm not like other girls. I'm not like that other girl. Like,
Yeah, there is like it's really funny because a lot of people have been exposed to a lot of this shit to the point where they're good at picking it up in terms of like trying to kind of dissuade it by being like, actually, I'm a girl's girl, in her lyrics or something, or like while she's at a concert and whatever. People can use that to completely swat away any criticism thrown her way, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And also, I do want to say that obviously there's a lot of men who have been misogynistic as shit, like especially in rock music and hip hop, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No one is trying to say that she's the worst fucking offender there
Oh, she's
is.
nowhere near that.
It's just she is the most popular pop artist right now who is a woman. and a lot of her art is kind of doing a lot of things that are kind of hard to defend. For example, she's done those like Juno poses, right?
Yeah.
I don't really give a fuck about that. I do think that now that it's been a while since she's been doing shit like that, you know, like at concerts or performances for like MTV and other things like that, when she did like that Eiffel Tower thing,
Or when she sucked that UK soldier's dick in that performance. And
which one?
remember, it was something in the UK. It was like a fuck. What was a famous? There's like a music festival or something.
Is it the one where she was like BBD or something?
Yeah, and then like the camera pans down. The camera pans to at the end of her song, and it's like her getting on her knees and the soldier's face being like, "Hell yeah!" Have you
Oh
seen it?
God.
This is
Okay.
this is why I actually can't take
Make it stop.
this is why I can't take this album seriously. Because dude, what do you mean this is ironic? Like or satirical?
Yeah, listen.
It's ironic you think this is ironic.
It's ironic that she thinks it's ironic. Yeah, but you know what? I think in the beginning it was kind of like, yeah, she's just like sexual. Like she just likes to talk about
She likes it
sex on stage.
raw. Make it stop.
Make it stop. Dude, how fucking dare you, dude? I seriously like
Genuinely, that's what this album cover
oh
makes.
my
It's
God.
like, no big deal. Like sucking dick and cock. Oh my God, time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner.
That's so fucking good.
Oh wow, this fits so well. Holy shit, I'm a fucking genius. You can tell me nothing. Anyway, what I was gonna say about that is that what I noticed about all of those performances is that I don't see her doing something that would actually gain a lot of reactions, which is emulating someone going down on her.
Mm. Well, I mean, like even from just like her performances so far and everything she's pretty much done, it's always been like her servicing slash pleasuring. Wow.
Pleasuring. Exactly.
Her male counterpart. So yeah, it does.
That's exactly it, dude. That's what I
Which is
like.
fine if you like sex raw, okay? Do you? I'm just not gonna say that it's like really good feminist work. I'm not gonna say that. And the people who are saying that this is, you are wrong.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like this is what I'm kind of picking up here is that if this would have been about her liking sex, there would be a lot more Juno positions and other things like that. That would have been about just her pleasure. Because it's always, if it's something that is one directional and not something like a fucking Eiffel Tower shit, she's never the one who's being pleased.
Yeah. Totally.
Someone try like emulating fucking her from the back does not count, bitch. I'm talking specifically the preamble, let's say that way. I don't understand how, in which universe, if this is not about performing for the males in the audience,
Totally.
I don't understand why this never came up. And I know this would have been discussed at length, because if she would have done something like that, it would be really crazy to everyone, because she's been emulating sucking dick and cock. Literally.
It's like, no big deal. Like sucking dick and cock.
On every stage, everywhere.
Yeah.
And once again, that could have been, like, I'm not like a fan of those types of things just because I don't really care. I feel like it's not bad, but it's not good. It's kind of there, you know? Like it's not a thing that I'm looking for. I'm like, oh my god, if my favorite pop girl doesn't suck dick and cock on stage,
Then
I don't think she's a good performer, you know?
yeah,
Like I'm not that type of person, but at the
icon?
same time,
Is she even an icon if she doesn't suck dick and cock?
yeah, if she is she an icon
Oh my god, time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner.
if she didn't do it at the right time and place on my birthday dinner? Is she an icon? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that genuinely, I think this wouldn't be this one directional. There wouldn't be so many iconic, in quotation, or like controversial moments where she's on her knees trying to emulate sucking somebody off.
Totally.
Sorry.
And you know what? I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because obviously we've only seen the album cover. Maybe more will come out and um we'll be proven wrong, but I really doubt that.
I mean, the thing is, I think that she obviously, like, her and her team did this on purpose because they knew that there was going to be an uproar from everybody, from puritanical people, from people who um are, you know, actual feminists, from people who are criticizing the feminists for criticizing Sabrina because they think that feminism is not criticizing women for some reason. I don't know what the fuck you've been thinking and where the fuck you got that from, but that ain't how it works. It's just one of those things where I'm like, it doesn't have to. Isn't it interesting that every single time we have this fucking conversation, it's always everyone being like, well, what if you like being treated exactly like patriarchy treats you in everyday life? And it's like, what are you talking about?
Huh?
What are you talking about? Also, I saw this TikTok where this girl was like, I need you bitches all to stop fucking saying stupid shit like, oh, I can't do anything when I'm in my I can't do anything right when I'm in my, wow, my
On my
god.
period?
I can't do anything right when I'm in my luteal
Oh
phase
my
or something
god,
like that.
stop it.
And that girl was like, you're gonna literally ruin all of our career opportunities with this bullshit. Because it's so weird because, like, I don't think you or I, like, that we're old enough to be seeing such a shift. Not in terms of, like, obviously, like, shifts happen, but I'm just confused as to why this new not even new, because they're all like our age or something, like all of those young women talking about this on TikTok and whatever, who are talking about luteal phases and stuff like that, you know, and about how it's just, oh my god, the ovulation, like Lord is fucking spewing right now,
Oh,
all of this
yeah.
shit.
We got
It's
fucking
like,
bad after.
did you guys not grow up in an environment where you're constantly undermined, where you're constantly asked if you're on your period when you're being more assertive or anything? Did you live on a different planet the entire time? That this isn't giving you a deja vu?
Yeah, I just think like, and even Sabrina Carpenter mentioned this herself, I guess, when she started getting like backlash over this album cover, where she was just like, "Oh, girls can't do anything anymore. Like we just can't do anything without being like criticized, etc., etc." I get what she's trying to say, but also at the same time, I think like as artists, you do have power, even if you don't think so. You do have power in a greater form in the narratives or like the conversations that your work can start and cause and like emphasize and stuff. So I feel like you have to think about these things. You can't just be like, I can do whatever I want, girls can have fun. Yeah, you can technically do whatever you want. Sabrina Carpenter did do whatever she wanted with this album cover, clearly. Like, you also have to expect that there's going to be this discourse. And like, if you don't like the discourse that it's spewing, then maybe think about how to do it better, you know?
Yeah, if there isn't someone who is actually well rounded in terms of visual culture and visuals in general,
Mhm.
defending your ass, there needs to be multiple, there needs to be a consensus, actually, because most people, most conceptual artists, most people who are educated in the visual arts or in art history will be able to look at a work and assess whether it's actually being sexist or if it's being, you know, actually subverting something and whatever. Yeah, there's going to be some deviation sometimes, but overall, people usually have a pretty well defined and well argued opinion.
Mhm.
And Sabrina is not coming out of this with this feminist label, she isn't coming out of this as just a woman who likes sex either.
Yeah.
You understand that, right? Because no one gives a fuck. Like it's not a big deal that she wants to do these poses or that she wants to be sexual or something like that. At least it's not on this podcast. Like we don't give a fuck about that being a thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing. It's her thing. She likes it. And there's literally nothing wrong with it. But there is this context of her entire career, okay? There's this context of her latest like 3 years where she's become very popular, where she's consistently doing those poses or whatever that are all about the man all the time, to the point where I genuinely think that this, if it would have been about sex, she would have done something that was just about her.
Yes. Yeah.
That was what was bothering me a lot. I think that probably if we go back to the end of season 2 when we discussed this, I think, not this specifically, but her MTV performance, I think we kind of like mentioned it or something. I think if it would have been, if we go back and listen to it, I'm pretty sure, I probably said the same thing where I was like, well, why wasn't it sexual but in a different way where she's the one who's getting...
Yeah, because you're not talking about
who's getting off. Like, why not?
Talk about your sexual pleasure or your experience of sex. You're talking about performing sex. Like
you're not even talking about it. You're performing it.
You're performing it. Exactly.
You're just performing it.
Which is like no big deal. Like sucking dick and cock.
You really can't say that this is a successful satirical album color. Wow, I can't speak. Cover, because it's just not.
What was that? We talked about like a lot of artworks that we saw from the 70s, from the sexual revolution.
Linda Benglis, her work. I forgot what it's called. I think I texted it to you. But this is like a very, like, you will learn this in art school. If you go to art school. But Linda Benglis did this photograph series.
Yes, a photo. Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Now, Benglis ad. That's what it's called. Now, comma, Benglis ad. And essentially, it's a photo of her butt-ass naked, but she has a realistic strap on, like, or dildo, and she's, like, holding it. Like, dude, imagine that. That would make a man uncomfortable, bitch.
Yeah, that would make
and it did.
A man uncomfortable. And the thing is, it's not that the goal is to make a man uncomfortable. Wait, do you see this? No, you don't.
Your screen is paused for me.
Oh. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you seeing this now?
Yeah, her whole series, like, she was talking about, she's like, yeah, I'm just making sexual mockeries. Like, she said that herself.
Yeah, and like, it's not that making men should be your priority if that's not what you want to do. Like, it's not like it should be your cover or whatever the fuck. Yeah. But this is very sexual. No doubt about it. This is very naked. No doubt about it. And yet, somehow, especially considering that this did happen at, in 1974, that was quite subversive.
Yeah.
That was a lot, for people at that time. And I'm not saying that you have to be doing this specific thing, per se. Mm-hmm. She's saying, I was still thinking about gender stereotypes, and I just wanted to make an image that can never be one thing, not one gender, not one form of sexuality or desire. Yes. And if you want to talk about desire, you're going to have to talk about it better than this. Because the thing is, sure, we can allow anyone to make anything. We fucking have Post Malone, bitch. We have... There's going to be people being like, Lisa, not Post Malone, like, catching it straight. I'm sorry. But we have those people. We have all most of the country singers. We have, like, other freaks that are new who I don't remember because their music is all the same. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that this is the worst work ever, but considering her reach, considering her money, considering her abilities, considering that she's not, I don't think that she's dumb, perchance, I don't know, deliver better. Yeah. I don't know, think about it more. And if your photographer was a dude, or even someone who's like not a dude, but they didn't have a woman's experience in the world, maybe rethink that. to be doing all this, you're gonna have to have more of a input from somebody who is actually aware of every kind of thing, you know, in this regard. And also, listen, we just talked like maybe a couple episodes ago about Irene and Solgi. We talked about their this oyster image being taken down by their company because they got such a huge backlash. They also had some people speculating about whether their project is queer baiting or not. And I'm gonna tell you that I don't think it's queer baiting, not because of just the visuals, which the visuals are very much sapphic, not for the male gaze. Like there's no it's very much devoid of that sensibility. However, I also want to say that with that project, their art director, a lot of people who were involved in the visuals and in the rollout of this album were actually gay women, like lesbians. So they would know when it's kind of like exploration of sapphic images and when it's exploitation of them. Okay. Also, I want to mention another blonde that pissed me off recently. Sabrina didn't really piss me off as much as I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, bitch, seriously, like, come on.
Another work too, another more contemporary work around Sabrina's like era, well, I mean the current era, lol. That I think is literally just talking about sex and enjoying sex, but I think it's done way better, is Rosalia's Hentai. Even the name of it is like crazy, but I recommend watching that music video and listening and translating the lyrics. It's actually a beautiful song. It's way more nuanced. It's thoughtful, is what I'm gonna say. But it's it's not trying to like reach some kind of reaction or goal, but in itself it's just way more thoughtful. And I think that's important, that it has that nuance and you can think about it in a lot of different ways and it's not trying to bait you into anything. But anyways,
I think so too. And also wait, where was it? Oh yeah, another thing that kind of weaves into this is Sydney Sweeney, of course, because everyone was talking about how Sydney Sweeney is for the male gaze and Sabrina Carpenter is for the female gaze. First of all, I just want you guys to know that whenever someone's using female gaze nowadays, or ever really, they don't mean, it's not the same thing as the male gaze in terms of definitions, because male gaze is an actual art term, like art theory term. Female gaze is kind of a thing that people started to use to describe things that are just like women like or find attractive. The male gaze is not just about the attractiveness, what people find attractive, whatever. It is this omnipresent type of thing where everything in society is built around this default in their heads of the person who is using or being in the world or existing within these images, you know, or consuming the images is a straight man. Usually white too. It's usually like this particular identity that is treated as the default of humanity, okay? In any case,
want to see something
at least
even this guy supports women.
Put it away. I'm gonna have to blur it.
No, it's not clocking to you that he's
standing on business.
On business.
He is standing on business. About Sydney Sweeney, that bitch.
I'm so tired of talking about this.
The fact that she made, you know what, from now on, she's not allowed to complain about being sexualized.
At this point, mama.
No, she's allowed to complain about it, but complain about it privately. Don't complain about it to us, to the public. When you literally made soap out of your bath water for creeps to buy.
Literally, I don't want to fucking hear it anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. That, and you know what, I was already kind of like, ew, but it was kind of ew that I didn't even really want to talk about until this bitch showed up at the Bezos wedding. How lame do you have to be to do all that? Like, I genuinely, you know what? How much of a fucking loser do you have to be?
Genuinely.
And you know what? She is just like her family. People were always like,
Oh,
no,
she's
she's just
not.
like, this is just her family. Yeah, they're Trumpies, but like, they're just her family. Like, what is she supposed to do?
She's not a
She
right.
is them.
Come on, be so.
She is them. Her behavior is exactly like a woman who comes from a lineage that had slaves at some point, for sure. She is that type of white woman, sorry to say. And also, she is the type of white woman who, or woman in general, who's like, doesn't mind using the system of patriarchy to benefit from it. And she doesn't really feel like it's essential for us to break it down
Mhm.
because she's so close to being one of the special little boys, because the only thing in her identity that doesn't line up with the ideal for a racist country that she's from is, sorry to say, most countries are racist. That's not special to you Americans, but she's definitely like this because she's like white, and she is like the blonde idea of, like, you know, like she's basically the American like ideal of what a woman should be. And she doesn't know that time is ticking. You only got 3 years until they start bitching about you. So it's really crazy that, like, she's really that just shows that she's very selfish.
Oh yeah, 100%. She has done nothing that would indicate otherwise. Like,
Yeah.
guys, remember every single person who went to that Bezos wedding, because those.
Yeah, I think we should make a list, and it's gonna be a hit list.
Yeah, 100%. They're in the lineup.
Orlando Bloom, gone.
Done.
Done,
Leo,
so.
he's been done. The
Oh, Leo's been done forever.
Kardashians, we always knew they were done.
Kardashians, gone.
Well, they were always fucked. Who else? Like, there's so many people that are just like, you're all.
This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low IQ, high-energy, jackrabbit, fucking wannabe, big-time, small-time, shit-talking, bothersome, irritating bunch of motherfuckers I have ever had to endure for more than 5 minutes.
Oh, I thought that he said in my life at the end.
But seriously.
Anyway.
That was a rant, but it was so needed. We need to.
Listen.
We need to boss up. Okay. You guys, we need to be united. We need to talk about this shit because there's just too many idiots out there spewing
Yeah.
nonsensical things. So,
No, for real, dude. And also, let's do my Lisa corner
yeah, I was just
since we're here. Oh my god, this video has 59.5 million views.
That's how good it is.
Listen, I know that all of you probably saw it, okay? I get it. But I just
again.
need to share it, okay? I think it's so phenomenal. You need to see it. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
So cute.
Just her sitting with her pants down. Darling, hold my hand.
That's so good. Anything else for Lisa Corner?
This tweet. Boob is too funny. Tit is too aggressive. Breast is too formal.
Yo, comment below which one you say.
Are you a boob girl, a tit girl, or a breast girl?
Should I do media corner?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so albums I've been listening to: Fleetwood Mac's Tusk. That album slaps. Recommend you listen to it. It's so good. Also, I've been listening to the Sensational remixes. Erica DeCassier, she's lit.
Hell yeah.
If you wanna dance vibe, yeah, that's pretty much it.
There's questions for you in the comments.
Okay, what's the question?
I'm gonna...
Okay, I'll come back with my mask. My nose is not itchy right now.
Okay, but you should be fucking reading them, okay? Okay?
Sometimes I do, but sometimes I Sometimes I don't. That's my
I
excuse.
can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. Horrified.
Do you guys still want him in here? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Or
Shit.
what are the comments? I'll try my best to answer.
Well, let me screen share with you. This stupid ass fucking AI like organizer
Okay,
things.
while you do that,
Which I don't have problems organizing myself. You know why? Because I just organize myself.
yeah, like a fucking human should. Before we do that, let me piss girl. Y'all ever like need to piss so bad, but you just keep holding it? Like, what's up with that? It's like something a child would do, but I just keep doing it. Anyways,
Don't do it because your kidneys will give out.
I know.
Anyway.
I think they already are. Yeah, which is, guys, the comments are so healing. Like, I'm depressed like 80% of the time, so they really uplift me. Lisa will just send me the good comments sometimes, and it'll make me so happy. It literally cures my depression. No cap.
First of all, everyone loved the new intro. Someone asked about one of the books that you read.
Oh, yes.
My sister read Roger Scruton at some point, if I remember correctly. Would you be willing to discuss his takes on art and philosophy in the future? Why did you even have his book? Isn't he's like a Republican freak?
Rogers, what was the book? What book?
It was like orange. It's about art. Orange and red.
Oh, Beauty?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I like looked him up when they asked about it, and I was like, oh, he is like specialized in aesthetics and in political philosophy, particularly in the furtherance of conservative views.
Oh my god. Wait, where's the comments? Oh, to that person, and to Lisa for just telling me now, ho. Sure, we could talk about it. Do I agree with him though? No. I found this book through this other YouTuber, and she was describing it really nicely. So yeah.
Ooh.
I'll show I'll show you her YouTube. She kind of like would seem kind of along the same lines as us, which is strange that this book was something she was.
Well, it happens, dude, because sometimes people don't know.
Yeah, but fuck, my bad. Shoddy.
He was like a controversial public intellectual. I hate when people call conservatives intellectual because it's like, bitch, be for real.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Camille Paglia situation where it's like I read him but didn't know his whole body of work. But yeah, I mean, if you want to discuss it for sure. I don't agree with him. I'm not a fucking conservative. I'm a communist.
He literally was, so he was a member of traditionalist conservative Salisbury group. He helped found the Salisbury Review, which is a quarterly British magazine of conservative thought, and that he edited from 82 to 2001. This quarterly, which was circulated in the Soviet bloc often in samizdat form, was criticized in Britain for having retrograde attitudes. I love that they had to fucking put in that they somehow got it into the Soviet bloc, and it's like, yeah, and that's probably why we fucking fell apart in 1991.
Yeah, but to the comment, we could definitely discuss it. But yeah, just know that I read it before I knew anything about Roger Scruton. Roger Scrotum. And you know what? That is my bad. I should have probably fact checked him like I fact Camille Paglia. But I think that specific book.
He co-founded the Jan Hus Educational Foundation in Prague under the code name of Vivorka, I guess, which is Polish for squirrel. He gave clandestine lectures, assisted dissident activism, and smuggled banned works into the Soviet bloc. As a result, he was arrested and thrown out of Czechoslovakia several times in the 1980s, and after the collapse of communism was awarded medals by the Czech Republic, Poland, and Hungary.
He literally
that cunt.
At Sophie Degener 5044, period girl for calling me out on that. arrest me because actually that's fucked up. I don't agree with him. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think like
Oh, this is like
I think what
crazy.
made me watch or made me read him, not to be like I should have definitely done my research on it, but what made me read it because I read it online, I think, like not I don't have the physical book, was like this YouTube video of a girl talking about it, and she there was like this one part of it that was really like I actually agreed with because it was actually beautiful writing. Like it was just talking about like beauty in the everyday.
He said stuff about opposing feminism, liberalism, egalitarianism, homosexuality, and anti-racism. He said just collected everything.
Damn. Fuck Roger.
Literally was like, I'm against all the good things.
Well, anyways, guys, don't read that book. Not me roasting people, but also should be roasted. Everyone makes
You know what pisses me off the most is that they always fucking bring in Dostoevsky. This is his like obituary at the Guardian, and they like Dostoevsky's kindly grand inquisitor. He promoted illusions that he loved but could also see through, almost relishing in the arcane discernment of reality's bleakness. Whatever it defects, he wrote, my life has enabled me to find comfort in uncomfortable truths. He was a tormented soul, as manifest in the rather labored way of speaking,
just
but also extremely funny.
just as reparations, I will make a video studying Roger's scrotum, a short for the Patreon. Actually, no, I'll do it for free.
Dude, this is so funny. Like, you know what, conservatives, get your sticky, stinky, dirty paws off Dostoevsky.
Please.
Okay? We don't want you anywhere near it.
I'm so sorry.
Reading Dostoevsky while being such a little bitch who can't connect to empathy, reality, anything human is really something. And then thinking that you resonate with it, you're a dumb bitch. That's what you are. Goddamn. Oh, you know what?
I'm
You know
never
what?
I'm never reading a book from Book Talk again.
Listen, what I want to say to all of those, okay? And also like make it stop. And when it comes to our reality,
Can we fix it? Baby, can we fix it? Fix it.
girlfriend, stop! Get back in the car! Me screaming at you while you're running with your like little book, not knowing what's happening.
I know.
I'm like, girlfriend, stop! Get back in the car!
Shout outs to Sophie in the comments for bringing that up. There will be reparations made.
Listen, this is why everything pisses me off so much, is because like you can't just enjoy anything
Yeah.
because everyone is so connected to stupid shit like this that you like genuinely like, I'm not even saying that that girl knew who like recommended that book to people. I don't even know if she knew
I
any
don't
of
think
this.
she knew either because like I was watching a lot of her other content and it was very like because she was like also an art kind of art YouTuber and she like had a very similar like style to like kind of
Mhm.
like the videos we like. And I genuinely enjoyed a lot of her videos, so I don't know if she even knows that that is.
That's the thing, and I'm like, why am I supposed to do so much fucking research to
I
make
should have done.
sure that a book about beauty or about aesthetics or
Yeah.
about anything really is not written by a fucking Nazi? Like, it's so annoying.
I should have done my research. I should have been skeptical from the beginning.
If they wouldn't be allowed to be, it would be so much fucking easier to exist in the
No,
world.
right? Oh, but anyways, sorry about that, guys.
It's always like so disheartening to me because I'm always like, oh, like I like this thing,
Hmm.
and then I find out something about someone who made it or something like that, and I'm like, oh my god, like now that's all I'm gonna think about.
Yeah, now I feel so fucked for that.
Well, you didn't know, but also like this is just an example of how annoying it is. Like it's literally so pervasive and so annoying. And the thing is, you know, it's okay to have some flaws. Like sometimes like for example, you find out that the author was like, I don't know, not a good parent or something like that, right? Which is like not great, but technically speaking, not like something that is universally abhorrent.
Right.
Is that how you say it, or abhorrent?
I think you're right. I don't know, either or. English language makes no sense to me.
In any way, I think that it's so weird because like that would be like a personal flaw, right?
Yeah.
But when it's like, oh, this guy was a reactionary, and at first he was like, he got into the left politics because he was so reactionary, and then he was like, no, actually, I am the complete opposite, and then he became a fucking Nazi without the Nazi label, but you're still a Nazi, be for real. And like, you're just sitting here like,
Huh?
and you did it at my birthday dinner.
I was like, time and place. Ugh.
There's actually no time and place for it, by the way.
Sorry about that, guys. We'll make sure to do my research more when I recommend you stuff. Actually, I'll actually do my research more when I read stuff, because I do read a lot.
The thing is, like, when people are like, well, he had this bad relationship with this girlfriend or something like that, and it's like, yeah, will I judge it if he was like a bad person? Yes. But it's not on the same level as being this, like, you have spent your entire life trying to make eugenics part of our like official policy
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, at that point, bitch.
Yeah. I also think it's just like hard because I feel like we've lost that kind of nuance with cancel culture and stuff. It's like I wish we
Yeah, because a lot of people are just like, I don't vibe with them. That's it.
yeah. Or I wish we could put
Or
more energy into like canceling people who actually deserve to be canceled, but so much of the times like they have so much like power.
they actually survive.
Yeah, power and money that they can hide behind it. And then we
Yeah, because that's the thing. We don't have the leverage. Like our side right now, we don't have the leverage because you have to be a cunt
yeah.
to have resources.
And
Like you have to be fucked.
Yeah, now we just like over police ourselves, like each other, you know?
Yeah, I actually think that it's like at a detriment, especially when it comes to people not being able to work together whatsoever. Because it's like, again, you might not be the best person in terms of your personal life. I might not be close friends with you or something, right? But it does not mean that we can't change things in terms of real things that affect people.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Anyway.
Can we fix it?
Can we fix it? Baby, can we fix it? Fix it.
Hope you enjoyed the pod. We'll be back.
Bye.
Subscribe. Go to our Patreon. Like. Bye.